What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/RegularRevenge. Alright, this story's called Bully Stole from My Friend and We Made Him Pay. This happened 6 years ago. I posted this on RegularRevenge and was removed, so I'm posting again. I apologize for any inconveniences. Characters: me, bully, friend. Anyway, this is my second post today, and I have a lot of stories like this, or in the entitled part. So let's start. I met Bully in my karate class 7 years ago and was a bit friendly to me. He was about to head me. He was Black Dan first, so I was keen on learning a bit from him too, but I never had to fight him as part of my practice. A year after I joined his school in 6th grade, we were in different divisions, but in school, he behaved differently towards me. Very differently. See, I was a bit chubby then, and no one wanted me as a friend, so I limited my interactions to a few people. So he would be very rude to me and shame me with his friend circle. So one day he boasted that he could beat my ass in karate and that he was the best. He never even fought me. So I confronted him in front of his friends and asked him how the hell did he defeat me. He was caught off guard, so he said, "Step off," and wandered off. Late during the lunch break, I finished my lunch fast and set my foot on the ground. I saw him alone and seized the opportunity. I punched his guts in. He was hurt, but he charged at me, and I used my body weight to counter him and gave a nice punch to his face. His lips were broken, but as soon as I saw a teacher, I just ran away. But both of us were never caught. I made sure he wouldn't get me again by making myself available and was around a few friends along the way. Then I knew that he was plotting revenge against me. He started accusing me of many things, like cheating on tests and such. But boy, I was excellent in studies and made a lot of friends because of that, working up my reputation. So I finally got trusted by many friends of Bully, as they now see me as one of their own. Then comes the build-up. I noticed that a friend of mine was behaving a bit differently. He was sometimes bruised and looked very depressed. He wouldn't talk to us. I managed to calm him down and asked what happened after a few days. He told me the reason. The father of Friend was an editor of a prominent newspaper in the state, so he had a lot of money. So Bully and his friends, after finding that out, started to beat Friend up behind the toilets for 2 days. Friend couldn't report it since he was scared. After 2 days, his friends came up to him and said that they won't beat him if Friend pays them 500 rupees daily, which was a bit much. Friend reluctantly agreed and went on paying him, and it had been going on for around more than a week, so I knew I had to do something. It was a matter of time until he would turn on me, so I hatched a plan to get maximum dirt on him. After getting inside his friend circle, I managed to get a lot of personal information on him. I knew his mom and 2 sisters who were very nice people. I found out that he had a bit of connections with a lot of outsiders, mainly college students, whom he looked at as his own bodyguards. So I got that down and found that he had sent some of them to beat up other kids whom he had beef with earlier. Bully once picked a fight right in front of police and ran away without getting caught. So I had all the information like this and a lot more, and I waited for the right moment. Then the drop. After 2 weeks or so, the moment came. Friend's parents found out that their money was gone missing, and they finally got the gist of it. Friend admitted that he stole the money and he told everything. His parents were furious and they came to school. Then I set my plan in motion. The first stage, me and a couple of other friends went to our vice principal, who is a friend of my mom's and was very nice towards me, and reported as many incidents as we could. We found evidence that he brought many unsolicited objects to school and provided the evidence one by one. After all this, many students came to their class teachers and reported their encounters with Bully. While the meeting was going on, Bully acted up and was immediately suspended for 3 days, and then later the meeting continued. Bully decided to come after me since I reported, but I was smarter. When he came after me, I quickly ran to the PE teacher and he saw him, and Bully was taken to the principal's office immediately. That day, someone had gotten hold of his bag and found a mobile phone in it. Phones were not allowed in the school. So he was beyond screwed. So both friend and bully's parents came, and then they learned that he had stolen over 15,000 rupees, and he spent about a third of it on his friends. So his friends were called upon, and they all threw him under the bus. His mother burst into tears. The money would be reimbursed to friend's parents. Bully was expelled. Then after a few days, I saw him in my karate class, but I informed my sensei about this issue, and he said that he heard many reports about his exploits. So he was called by the senseis, and he got a hell of a scolding. By that, he was shamed. I was backed up by other students who were ridiculed or beaten by him in the changing room. So he left the dojo. It was an absolute win. I never saw him again. Edit. I know I shouldn't have hit him, but I was an idiot back then. Well, it got him to respect you, so there's that. And that's a freaking bonkers story. Where did this take place? India, Pakistan? Because like 15,000 rupees is like around like $150-ish if it's in Pakistani rupees. Maybe a bit less, but between 100 and 150. Alright, this story's called Mean Teacher and the Notebook Drama. I had a teacher in middle school that was just a rude, mean lady. She was extremely bossy. It was her way or no way at all. She made us get a composition notebook to write all assignments and notes in it for her class, with a table of contents in front showing what assignments and notes are on what page. Ooh, that sounds so organized. Now don't get me wrong, I understand that some teachers want all their stuff in one folder or binder or notebook or whatever, but in her case, it was just her need to be bossy and make things complicated for the students. Because all of our assignments and notes were in one composition notebook, we had to tear out some pages to turn them into her to grade, then she would have us staple them back into the notebook. It was horrible, and you couldn't really study because it was just a mess. Some people asked why we couldn't use a folder or a binder instead of this notebook, but the teacher said she liked the notebook, so we had to use them for her class. Yikes. Now, I just want to say that I'm one of those people that likes to have clean notes and organized stuff. If my notes are not organized and neat, I have no motivation at all to study them or go over them or anything. Basically, I would just write them down and never look at them again if they were messy. Because we had to use the notebook and I still wanted to get good grades, I made copies of every assignment and note and put them in a separate binder for me to use and study. It was a little tedious to make copies of everything in her class, but it was the only solution I had to the problem. My teacher eventually found out and scolded me for trying to get around her rules. I tried to explain that I needed/wanted to do this so that I would have the motivation to study. I guess she got offended that her notebook was not motivation enough. She made a big deal out of it and called my parents and a meeting with the principal to discuss my rude behavior. She lied and said I was disruptive in class and didn't want to follow the rules. My parents tried to argue with her because I was a shy and quiet kid, but principal sided with the teacher, not us, which I was not surprised by because my school is snooty and would turn a blind eye to a lot of things. I got a write-up and had to agree to follow the teacher's rules, so I did. I stopped making copies and using my binder. My good grades started falling further and further. Another meeting with my parents and the principal was called to talk about my bad grades. I explained my reasoning and the situation with the notebook. The teacher argued, saying that I was probably autistic and an intellectually disabled individual. Yes, she did actually use that word in language. No, I am not autistic or anything like that. The principal reprimanded her for using that type of language. This time, the principal actually listened to me. An investigation into the teacher and her classes began. During the next couple of weeks, other teachers and administrators would visit the classroom on and off. In the first few days, my teacher acted nice and was the perfect teacher, but I guess the act was too much for her and she started showing her true colors. By the end of the investigation, it was proven that most of the students, if not all of them, were having problems in her class, mostly because of her notebook. She was forced to stop making us use the notebook and let us take notes and do assignments like any other class. I still had problems with that teacher the whole time in middle school. Even if I wasn't in her class anymore, she would see me in the halls and give me a mean, nasty look. You know what, OP? You did a good thing here. You changed a stupid teacher's stupid policy, and you know what? I'm pretty sure everyone everyone was better off for it, so good freaking job. Alright, this story's called Customer Cussed Me Out for Not Wanting to Reopen My Department to Make Her a Pizza, so I wasted her time. Edit. Friendly reminder, this is petty revenge, not am I the butthole. Whether or not I am a jerk for this isn't really what I'm looking for here. I got petty revenge against a customer who is treating me poorly. If you don't like that, tough. I really don't care if my work ethic at a minimum wage part-time job is coming under question here. This is a really dumb one, but it was satisfying, so why not share it? I'm a university student working a supermarket job that's just slightly above minimum wage. It's a nice enough job, and the managers and colleagues are friendly, so I don't mind doing it. The customers are a mixed bag, though. Every single week, without fail, this old woman comes in and asks for 4 gluten-free pizzas with triple mushroom and triple bacon. She always arrives super late into the shift, normally when we are running out of ingredients and are about to close. And it's usually hit or miss whether we have gluten-free bases in store. And you had better believe she blames me when this happens. I don't mind making large orders, but it's pretty inconvenient, especially when she comes so late in the evening. Worse still, she always has an attitude and is overall a nightmare to deal with. I've always worked with the rule that if a customer is polite and nice to me, I will return the favor and be nice back. This might mean I give them extra toppings, or I'll work on the presentation a little more for them. Normally, it just means I'll be friendlier to them. Similarly, if a customer is being a cooter, I will put the bare minimum effort into whatever task I'm doing for them. I finish at the same time every week, 8 p.m. Today, at about 7:15, I was closing my department, had already covered the pizza ingredients, put away the utensils, etc. Midway through cleaning, the Omega Bimbo rolls up to the counter. I apologize and explain that I'm closing down and finish at 8 p.m. She immediately starts complaining that she has been told we are open until 9 p.m. I tell her that the store is open until 9, but the pizza department closes at 8 p.m. at the latest, and as I am only working until that time, I have to close everything down an hour earlier. She gets even angrier and walks off before returning maybe 5 seconds later after the thought of a sad pizzaless night flashes through her tiny brain, and she tells me something along the lines of, "Now you have enough time. Stop cleaning and make me my pizzas. You don't close until you've done that." I argued back a little, but she was getting irritable, and as much as I like arguing with complainy customers, I don't want to get in crap with my managers. So I just look at her and say, "I'll go to the freezer and see if we have any gluten-free bases." So I dip out to the warehouse knowing full well that we have bases and just chill there for 10 minutes or so, catch up with the warehouse team, check my phone, you know the rest. When I feel like enough time has passed, I head back and she's still waiting there. With my most deadpan voice I can muster, I just said, "We don't have any of the bases." The look of anger and defeat that flashed across her face was so damn satisfying. She kinda just threw her hands up before leaving, and I got back to cleaning up. The thing is, I don't mind making late orders for customers. It's super inconvenient, and making a late pizza means I have to re-sanitize the surfaces, re-clean the utensils, etc. But if somebody is polite to me, I respect the urge for late night pizza. If a customer's gonna be a Richard though, there's no way in hell I'm gonna make that pizza. I will go out of my way to make sure they can't have it. Hope you enjoyed hearing about this. If anything else like this happens, I'll share it here. One thing I'm gonna say here is that honestly, if she comes there every week without fail for the same order, it might help to have some stuff set aside for her, because like, that's pretty good business. But if she's being rude, then yeah. I don't know, do you guys think it was justified, or was that just being a bad employee? I mean, I guess it was on an objective level, but I honestly don't think it's that bad. But I guess to a lot of people, especially those who might own a pizza shop, that might irk them. Who knows? You guys do in the comments. Whoop! Alright, this story's called Company Directors Get to Experience Some Christmas Spirit. I work in the retail distribution sector. Every year at Christmas, the CEOs and directors send emails out to the staff who they just forgot had to work through all of Christmas because of them. The email is basically, yeah, it's been a hard year for all. Everyone is doing well now. Me and my family are screwing off to the Bahamas or somewhere fancy for a much needed break. And we all, for obvious reasons, hate it. Now, after this mess of a year, we all realize that, oh, they aren't allowed to travel or anything this year. Worse is that all the CEOs, because of a business deal they made, now all have to work. And for the first year in 11 years, we are off for all of Christmas. Plotting intensifies. So what happened? A thread email was created with everyone in the distribution center who has a work email tagged and sent to the CEOs and directors. And this email thread contained pictures of people's dinner, pictures of family time, everyone's plans for Christmas and New Year with updates like, gonna treat myself to a daytime nap, might splash out and get drunk at 6 a.m. Just really random updates for people's plans for Christmas. All under the falsehood of spreading work morale and positivity, so no one gets any crap for it. 5 CEOs and directors send this email every year. We'll now open their email to have every single warehouse colleague with an email telling them their plans for Christmas. And my boss who created the thread's post was a family picture holding drinks with the caption, "It's no Bahamas, but it's good enough for me." I love that. That is incredible. I'm so happy that, all these people are getting to go home with their families for Christmas this year. It sucks that that was not the case for so long beforehand. Like, if anyone hates the break, it's the ones who are actually, working a lot. And I know CEOs work a lot, they're busy and stuff, but, it's a different kind of work. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.